Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Guy. I serve as coordinator of alumni reunions and special events at the UNC General Alumni Association. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to make a super cute little holiday Rameses that you could hang up on your tree, or maybe if you just want some decoration in your house just for fun all year long, you could hang this little guy up, maybe even in your office or your home office or wherever you want him to be. But he could also be used as a napkin ring. So if you're just hosting a dinner just for fun with your family in your home right now, while or in the future, right? Then you could put this around your dinner napkins and make a little ring for your dinner napkin, something cute and whimsical for you and your family, and something your kids will probably love too. I know my kids did. So, all right. So I'm going to take you through first the things that you will need for this project. So first and foremost, there is an instruction guide to accompany this video that also has a cutout sheet that you might find handy as you work through creating this little ram. All right. So I recommend you print those off. I would also recommend that you make sure you have everything you need, including you're going to use hot glue. Get lots of glue sticks. If you're like me, you'll go through a lot of glue as you go through these crafts, okay? So the first thing you'll need is an empty toilet paper tube. I already cut this one. It's about an inch in terms of the thickness here, or the width here rather. And we all have these lying around right now, right? I know that on a normal basis, we go through a lot of toilet paper, and certainly if you're like us, we are just at home mostly right now. So lots and lots of toilet paper rolls or empty toilet paper rolls laying around. So go ahead and pull one of those out, or anything that you have that's like a little circular ring, okay? You'll also need some yarn. Make sure you get some white yarn, okay? You'll want to have some Carolina blue ribbon or some light blue ribbon just to add some Tar Heel flair to this ram. You'll want some twine. So if you're going to make an ornament out of this, then you'll want twine or even some string or anything that's sturdy to hang this from. You want that. You'll want felt. So I've got a couple of different pieces here. A white piece of felt. If you are making Rameses, you'll want a yellow piece of felt. If you're making RJ, Rameses Jr., you'll want some light blue felt, right? So get as close to Carolina blue as you can possibly find. I just got these at Michael's, or again, you can go to any craft store and find these, okay? So then the next thing you'll do is you'll want to make sure you have a stapler. I'm not sure if I said that already, but you're definitely going to want to use your stapler for this. That's one of the most important parts. You'll want a light pink crayon. This is to color Ramsey's ears, okay? So the inside of his ear, just to add a little color. And then you'll want a black Sharpie or a felt tip pen or fabric pen to color in the tips of the legs, or the feet rather, to make the hooves on Ramses. All right, so let's jump in and get started. All right, so again, the first thing you're going to do is go ahead and cut your paper or your toilet paper tube down to size. See, I've already done that. And then the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and grab a really long piece of yarn. And the reason why I'm going to try to make this as long as I can while still keeping it workable is because you're going to build the body by wrapping this around, sort of weaving in and out of this toilet paper roll tube. So as long as you can make it while still keeping it workable, right? If you're a sewer, you know what I mean. You want to make sure that your thread's not too long where you can't work with it, but long enough where you don't want to have to run out and then replace it super quick, right? You want to try to just work with one strand as long as you possibly can. The good news is with this craft, it's not a problem to add on another piece, and we might end up needing to do that. We'll see. So the next thing you do, and be careful with this if you're working with children, I would definitely recommend an adult do this unless your child is handy with the stapler and you trust them to do this. I'm going to go in and just staple. Hang on, get this back in regular mode. You're going to want to go in and just staple that yarn to this tube, okay? Because then that's going to keep it secure while we begin wrapping this. So you'll see, again, I'm going to go just in and out of the tube. And I am going to just wrap this entire tube around and around and around until all of this cardboard is covered. I'm going to go as fast as I can for the sake of this video, because again, you're going to want to do this in a few turns. This will not be the only layer that you do, right? This is just layer number one. You're probably going to want to build on this. I know for me personally, with the sample here, I'd wrap probably about 3 or 4 times around, just because I really want it to get, hot glue gun's getting caught up here. I really want it to get the body to be, you know, as ram looking as possible. And rams have really thick woolly fur, so, or woolly coats rather. So you can see I'm just going around. This part is great for a kid, right? I know right now we are, you know, having to do virtual distance learning with our children, and they do their assignments and then they say, Mom, what can I do now? And I say, I don't know, go get creative, find something to do. So trust and believe, our family will be doing lots of these. We're due time to add some, you know, more ornaments on our tree, and just, again, these are super cute to have as napkin holders as well. So something we could use year round, but it's just really fun for them and therapeutic, not just for kids, but for adults too, right? If you're looking for some crafts to get into, I promise you this is actually quite easy. So, and you'll see that as this shortens up, it's actually a little more workable, but again, I didn't want to have to grab another piece quite so soon. So again, I'm gonna just keep wrapping. You see I still have a few sections of exposed cardboard, and I also just want to get this just a little bit thicker in terms of width. As you make additional layers, you'll find that you don't need to wrap this quite as tight, right? You can just leave a little bit of space. I'm gonna staple this and grab one more piece. Not quite as long this time, again, for the sake of the video. I'm not going to make this quite as long as I would if I were not recording this. But again, it doesn't have to be that long this time anyway, because I shouldn't have to wrap it quite as tightly. That first layer really took care of that job of making sure that most of the cardboard was covered. Okay, so again, the goal at this point is to just wrap this. I want to get that width right, you know, and you can do this as much as you want. If you find this therapeutic, you can just keep going. And then Ramses will have an extra furry or extra woolly coat. Okay. Right. Keep wrapping a little, a few turns more. I think I'm almost pleased with this. Shall we go for one more? Good enough? I'm getting a little nod over in the corner from my husband. He's saying, no, we're good enough. So I'm gonna let it be. And I'm gonna staple that final turn, right? Because that's gonna keep that final, so the end is what I just stapled, the end of that string. I just took my staple gun and stapled it right to it. And then I'm gonna tuck in any loose edges just to make it look a little bit neater. All right. So there. All right. So up next, we're gonna make the head. So this is where you're gonna want to grab, I'm gonna cut off a piece of my white felt. And then, and again, you can cut this out ahead of time if you'd like. If you're feeling confident, which you should, then perhaps you can just freehand cut this. But for the sake of the video, I am going to show you what it would look like if you wanted to use this cutout as a guide. Just get a little piece of tape, if you got to tape the Spencer line around, and go ahead and tape that cutout to this piece of felt. See that? And then go in with some good fabric scissors, okay? And start cutting the head. Cutting out the head. And that'll give you the right shape, okay? All right, and so now I'm gonna just remove that. See there? Now we've got the head. All right, so then I'm gonna take my light pink crayon and just, you'll see I'm gonna go in right here and just make a little bit of pink, a little pink marking, and that's gonna just give the inside of the ear some color. I'm not gonna give this ram eyes. If you want to put eyes on it, use, I would just recommend like really one dot here. The other thing that you could do is if you made our Q-tip ram, right? So there's a guide sheet for a Q-tip ram. You could always, you could also cut out that and put it on some cardboard like I did in that video, if you've watched that video. And you could use that as the head if you want a forward-facing ram. But for this video, I really like, for this, I like to use the felt, okay? So we've made the head. And now we're gonna go ahead and cut out our next section for a ram horn, okay? So you'll see, again, I'm misplacing my sheets, but I'm gonna freehand this, but what you're aiming for as you cut the ram's horn is sort of like, it kind of looks like a G or a C, right? But the point is to get just a little bit curvy and curly. You're also gonna position this with your fingers, so you'll get the right shape eventually, but I'll show you. I'm just gonna freehand this. But again, please use the guide if you need it, just to get the general shape. You'll see I've got my yellow felt, cutting out the ram horn. All right, you see that? Okay, so I'm gonna come on in and I'm gonna grab my glue gun. And let's go ahead and take this top section, put a little piece of glue here, or a little dot of glue. And I'm just gonna come in right here, get this angle right. I'm gonna come in right here at the edge and take that little section and put it on the ram's head. See that? And then to get it to wrap around, to really look like Ramses' horn or a ram horn, I'm just gonna take the part that's loose and wrap it around and secure that with a little bit of glue. So one little dot of glue. Again, you're almost making like a C or a G shape, depends on how curvy you've made it, but how curvy it was when you cut it, like a C or a G shape to make that ram's horn. All right. And now, you see that? Okay. So then, the next thing you want to do is go ahead and let's make the legs, okay? We're gonna go ahead and cut out the legs. Again, feel free to use the guide. I don't think you really need to cut these out, but should you choose to, that's fine. You could just grab a piece of tape like we did before and cut out some legs. out of your white felt, okay? But I'm just gonna freehand this just a little bit for the sake of the video. If you double up your fabric, I've found that you can also just cut a few of these at one time, right? At least two. So I'm gonna try that. All right. There's two. And we're gonna do two more. All right, and then I'm gonna come in and with this black marker here, use a Sharpie or again, the fabric pens, whatever you've got. And you can see I'm just coloring tips of it. And that's just making some little hooves. I'm gonna put that on all four of the legs at the bottom to make the hooves. And now that you've gotten all those felt pieces taken care of, let's go ahead and start piecing together the ram. So let's start by positioning the head onto the ram's body. So you see I've got a dot of blue here, and I'm just gonna come in, ooh, that's hot. I'm just gonna come in and let's get it right on the angle. We're gonna do it like right there and position that right there, okay? So sort of off center kind of, right? On one side, the right-hand side of the ring, okay? And then you're gonna come in and we're gonna use a little bit of glue, a dot of glue to position the legs at the bottom. Do that really quick. All right, I think I've got all four legs on there. You can see his legs. All right. So, and again, just make sure you've got them positioned in the right place. I think this is a little out of position. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. You see, he's coming together. All right. So then the next thing you want to do is add a little bit of Carolina blue flair, right? So let's grab the fabric scissors, and I've just got some blue ribbon. Gonna make a little bow. And you can either position this at the top of the ram. You could also put it underneath the ram's face if you want it, under the head rather, to make a bow tie. Okay. Got a bow. And let's see, we'll do a bow tie for this one. So I'm gonna just have a dot of blue here on the ribbon. And then we're gonna add that right underneath the ram's head. Got a big bow tie. Pull it taut just a little bit. Okay, let's just cut off the excess ribbon. You can see it a little bit better, or how it needs to look a little bit better now. Great. All right, so from here, if you're going to use this as a napkin holder, you're done. If you want to use this as an ornament, you want to go one step further and add on a little twine loop. You could also use the string. So I'm going to use the twine for this. I'm sure you could also use yarn if you want to use yarn, or ribbon. Actually, I could probably take some more of that ribbon and use that if I want it. Kind of like the look of this twine. It's a little rustic looking. And I think yarn and the felt, a little rustic. So you can see I'm taking both ends, and I'm just going to take one of the yarn threads, and I'm just going to knot this loop on here. This is pretty lightweight, so as long as you've made a pretty decent knot, this should not fall off of your tree if that's where you're going to hang it. Okay. You could also pin it to a bulletin board. That would be cute. I think I made that hook just a little long, but I think you get the point, right? And then you could hang that. So there you go. Got a little ornament. And again, if you want it, you could have used the blue felt to make RJ, add a little bit of variety. You can make several of these. I'm sure you have lots of empty toilet paper rolls around your home, again. So you can make lots of these, okay? And that's it. Pretty easy, right? So I hope you enjoyed that craft. Hopefully it was a good brain break. Hopefully it was good Zoom time, not necessarily fatigue time. Hopefully this gave you a little bit of something fun to do on a rainy afternoon or a sunny day at home with your family or your loved ones, or just if you've got some me time, you can nestle up next to a cup of tea and do this. That would be really fun, right? And hopefully it brings you some cheer. Happy holidays and take good care. Go Hills.